23-year-old man from Thrissur in Kerala has been arrested after award-winning actor Parvathy complained to the police about vicious abuse, threats of rape and so on that she'd been receiving on social media after talking about the anti-women dialogues of a film. This is a 2016 Malayalam film which starred superstar Mammootty. She hadn't named him, but she had spoken of dialogues that she said were derogatory to women. I spoke with Parvathy earlier and began by asking about the harrowing time that she's had. One 23-year-old, of course, has been arrested, but you've seen the worst kind of vile language. It must have been very traumatic. How have you dealt with it?
It has been exactly 17 days since I spoke at the open forum at IFFK in Trivandrum. And while the discussion itself was about how misogyny shouldn't be glorified in our art forms, especially cinema, and my intention was for such a discussion to be to happen and be sustained in a healthy manner within the industry and outside. I saw it escalating from it being misinterpreted as an attack towards a particular superstar, and the whole hateful comments from their fans going into abuses, to sexual intimidation, to rape threats and death threats, and all these things going way beyond what I could imagine what people can do to a person. And I saw it. I couldn't actually get affected. I didn't have the time to get affected personally, because in the first half of these vitriolic attacks, the first half of the day after I spoke, it was more about trying to engage with them and trying to explain to them what I meant. And then I was told by many that you cannot speak to a mob, it's a mob mentality, you cannot have a conversation with them. So I stepped back and I started witnessing this abuse and threat and attacks happening not only to me, but those who supported my views, and also those who didn't support my views but happened to support my freedom of expression.
Sadly, that is true. You really can't speak to the mob. You can't reach out to them. You certainly can't convince them of your viewpoint. But when you made those comments, there was hesitation before you named the film. Is that because you suspected things to turn out the way they did?
I would like to say that I wasn't hesitant in taking the name of the film, and I had absolutely no idea that I would be attacked in this manner if at all I take one particular film. If I had taken 5 different films, and I can take about 100 films as examples and provide you evidence as to how misogyny can be glorified in films, but even if I had taken 5 names, I would have been attacked this way. So it's not about taking one particular film and making an example out of it, and that definitely wasn't hesitation. That was just my way of communicating. I didn't think it was necessary. I think a lot of people would have understood even if I hadn't taken the name. Now, granted that my friend encouraged me to say the name, I still don't take back what I said.
Of course, quite fearless there, but we know that the government's taken a strong position. He's talking about how they're going to deal with online abuse when it comes to women. So what's the kind of sort of response that you've heard? Has anyone reached out to you?
Yes, the union government has reached out to me, and they have taken a really deep interest in this issue, and I'm really happy that they did at this point, because they also understand that it is not just about me, that it's not just me who's getting attacked, that it's a lot of people who are getting affected, and that we need more, much stricter laws and punishments and actions taken against such people, for them to realize that it's not okay to abuse people online. Most of the time it's considered non-invasive, and it's all right because it's just some anonymous person saying something behind a screen. But the effect of such things on a human mind, that cannot be ignored.
Okay, one last question, Parvathy, before we let you go, which is, has the silence of the superstars, your colleagues in the industry, surprised you?
The silence of the superstars has definitely surprised me, but eventually it started making sense to me why they wouldn't want to speak up against or for me, because they could disagree with my point of views. But what surprises me is that this sort of criminal activity, which the online abuse has now gotten to be, that is something I think every citizen has to be aware of and has to take responsibility.
Okay, but let's hope that, they're listening in and more of them speak out for people like you out there who are facing all that, using all those nameless, faceless women as well. That's a wrap then on Left, Right and Centre. Parvathy, thanks so much for speaking to us this evening. Goodbye, good night.